Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Justin Green. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of 6 Minute Saturday. Today, in under 6 minutes, I'm going to try to tell you guys why I think this is the best case to carry your handguns in, or really whatever you want to put in it. But let's go get started. Okay guys, so the better part of last year I looked and spent all kinds of time trying to find a hard case that I wanted to transport my handguns in and even just keep them secure here at the house, so I wasn't always having to move them back and forth between gun cases and range bags and everything else. So I went through and I looked at Pelican and all the similar brands, you know, that's Pelican's competitors, and I just didn't see paying, you know, upwards of $200+ for a case to just either drive back and forth to the range or just sit in my house and serve no purpose other than just concealing my weapons inside of it. So I did a little bit of research and I actually come across these cases on Amazon. This is the Apache 4800 weatherproof case. I've got links down below if this is something that you guys are interested in, and if you do stick around and watch the video, I do think that this might be a very viable option for you guys for your handgun carries. Or, you know, if you guys are like me and you have camera equipment, these things make great camera carriers, especially if you're going to be going on a big adventure and you don't want anything to happen to your, your camera or your guns or whatever you decide to put in this thing. This here is going to protect it ultra well and it's going to serve its purpose. So let's dig down, do a little bit of the specs on this, and we'll take a look inside and I'll show you guys what this case is all about. Okay, first up is going to be the dimensions of this thing. So what we're looking at on the exterior dimensions, you have an overall length of 20.3 inches. It is 15.5 inches wide, and the depth of this thing is going to be 7.37 inches. Now when you pop the lid of this thing and you get inside, of course it's going to be a little smaller for the dimensions, but you're still getting quite a bit of space in here, guys. Interior, you're looking at 17.87 inches width, and then you have 12.87 inches across, and it's 6.25 inches deep. So that's actually going to be how much space you'll be able to have inside of this thing. It is made out of an extra durable polypropylene, which means that this thing can take a beating and it's still going to protect what's inside of this thing, guys. This thing does have 2 pre-drilled holes, 4 locks, so you can actually you can put a lock on this thing, which is what I do because I keep my handguns in this case at all times. That way when I decide I want to go shoot, I don't have to move from handguns from one case to another then go. I can literally grab this case, grab my ammo box, and I can hit the road. So I always keep a set of locks on this thing until I'm ready to get my handguns out of it. And it does have a pressure relief valve, so if you're changing elevations, it's not going to get pressure locked on you. You can adjust the pressure valve and still be able to open this thing up. It has 4 heavy-duty latches on the sides, so this thing's going to stay closed. And it is IP65, I believe, is what the rating is on this. So it's going to be water resistant and micro dust proof. So I haven't tested the water resistance. I hope I never have to. But if you guys are stuck out at the range and it does happen to start raining, or if you're out on a photo shoot or whatever that may be, what you're using this case for, if it does start to rain, you can throw all your gear inside, latch it down, and you should be good to go at least long enough to get you out of the rain. So let's go ahead, let's dive down inside of this thing and we'll show you what it's all about, and I'll show you the uses that I've put into this thing and why I love it so much. Alright guys, now that we've got the top view going here, I've went ahead and I've undone my locks, and I will add, if you're going to be keeping any kind of a handgun or weapons inside of this thing, I would recommend go ahead and getting you a couple of TSA approved locks, just to make sure nobody can get in this and get the contents inside of it except for you. So I went ahead and I got me a couple locks, and I've already undone those and popped those off. And then you have 2 lasps in the front and 2 lasps on the sides, so we're going to go ahead and undo those. And then boom, you're inside, guys. The cool thing about this case is it has the 2 layers of pick and pull foam in it. So basically what that means is no matter what you put in this case, you can kind of customize it and make it the way that you want to make it. As you can see, I've really only used about half of this case so far, and I do keep 4 or 5 handguns in here. I've left this this side here kind of intact for now, just because I actually plan on changing things up, and I may end up getting a couple new handguns, so I didn't want to use the whole thing as of yet. So I've still basically got half of a case left that I can still use. But as I said, it does have 2 layers of pick and pull foam, so basically you can make it however you want. And then on the bottom it does have a thick layer of foam just to keep whatever you're putting in this thing from laying on the hard plastic down below, so everything's going to stay nice and safe and protected. So let's go ahead and put those back in. And basically all the way this works is it's just little squares. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's little squares that are kind of pre-cut. They're just barely held together, and you just go through and pick out how you want to do it. I've laid mine out in a way that that fits me the best. It does have a foam layer up top as well to keep you from any kind of damage happening to this top side of the items that you're carrying in this. But let me lay this out and put the handguns that I carry in this inside so you guys can kind of see how it works. My first little hole here is going to be for my Sig P938. I keep it tucked away nice and neat right there, and as you can see, it sets down nice. When the lid closes, the foam will protect it. And then the 2 holes down below, I kind of wanted to make everything nice and neat. I like to keep my extra magazines inside of here, that way I know that this gun has these magazines. Next I have my wife's Sig P3 65, and we keep it right here in this one, and it's not much bigger than the 938, so as you can tell, I pretty much made the same cutout for those, so that one sits in there. And then we do have the stock 10 round magazine here, and then an extended 12 round magazine that goes right there, so I know that those 2 magazines go with this gun. Next up is my daily carry, which a lot of times isn't in this case unless I'm locking it up at night, but that's going to be my Sig P365. It's going to go in here, and then one of my mag cases is here. I have another 12 round magazine that I keep in on me and on my persons at all time, so it would go there, and I know that it belongs with that. The sticky holster, I can simply just lay it right here for the P365, and when you close the lid down, it just latches it down on top. There's no big fuss there. Next up, I like to keep my P320 in here, which mine has the Romeo reflex sight, and I thought maybe that might make a little bit of a difference, but simply you cut it out, boom, it fits right in there nice and neat. And then I also have a preloaded magazine that I keep with it, and I keep it there. And then like I said, guys, on this side, I didn't want to cut it open just because I didn't know what I wanted to put in here. I may be getting some future handguns, so I wanted to kind of leave it open. But for right now, I do have the Sig Spartan Edition 1911. I just kind of keep it laid out here in any kind of position, but I keep it laid there, and then I keep my spare magazine for it laid out here. So as you can see, this thing is very versatile. You can literally make it however you want. I have plenty of room to add to this for the future. But like I said, if you wanted to get one of these, which I'm highly thinking about doing, if you wanted to get one for your camera, you could cut you a square out for your camera, cut a couple of squares or 2 or 3 squares out for lenses. You could slide your batteries, charger, whatever. You could fit it in there, and then whenever you get everything in place, it just simply latches down, closes off, and then you can throw your locks on, and you are good to go. So let's go back up top and let's finish this off. Alright guys, so we're back up top with the Apache 4800 series. This is, like I said, the extra large. I think this is going to be the best case to give you the best bang for your buck on the market. I found some links, I'll drop them down below, but this case here you can find on Amazon for about $99, sometimes a little bit less, it just depends on when you're looking. But there are other options from Apache. Like I said, this is kind of the largest case that they offer, so if it's something that may be too much for you and you want a little bit smaller of a case, they have plenty of options. Just hit the link below and you can kind of browse around and see what all is going to work best for you. But like I said, for $100, this case here is super durable. It does everything that I want, and I have some extra space in it for down the road if I want to add any more handguns to this. But let me just tell you guys, grabbing this thing, heading off to the range, coming home and just being able to leave my locks on here and set this thing up in the gun room. Just makes it super easy, super reliable, and that's why I think this is going to be the best handgun case for you guys on your day-to-day basis. Without further ado, if this is your first time watching a video and you stayed all the way through, you guys are awesome. You might want to consider subscribing because we do some pretty cool things here on the channel. If you don't care, like the video for me. That lets me know what kind of content to keep bringing you guys. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. I would highly appreciate it. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video. Shh.